see. We're at 35 participants. So I think we should go ahead and get started. I'd like to introduce Patricia Matthews, our interim dean, for your official welcome.
Thanks, Elisa. Welcome, everyone. I'd like to join my colleagues in congratulating you on being new University College students. We're excited to have you studying with us. Many of you will be returning to school after a substantial break or perhaps beginning your college journey as an adult. We recognize that this is a challenge and we want to help you navigate it. So you may have a number of questions. For example, will I be the oldest person in my course? Well, you won't. And if you are, you get bonus points for bringing more life experience to the classroom. So whatever your questions are, we hope to get a jump start tonight by answering them and letting you know about the many people on campus who are here to help you. But we also hope you'll keep coming back with more questions and want you to know that we'll be here when you do. So thank you, Elisa, for running the orientation. And I look forward to seeing some of you online and some of you on campus.
Thank you, Pat. Now I'd like to introduce our Director of Admissions, George Winston. George?
Good evening, Elisa. Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the University College Fall Orientation Session. I'm George Winston, Director of Admissions for University College. On behalf of my entire team and my colleagues in the marketing and communication team, welcome. We are very thrilled that you have chosen University College to start or continue your education. Before today, our goal when interacting with each of you was to build awareness of our programs, of our faculty, and all the opportunities that were possible with a Washington University education. Next, we were in place to help you navigate the admissions process and allow us to see the real you. Today, we join our colleagues in advising to continue that navigation process. But this time, the goal is to provide you with information that will make your transition to Washington University a smooth and stress-free one. This evening, you'll hear important information that will help keep you connected, healthy, informed, and successful on campus this semester. Using the tools shared this evening, we will enhance your experience and help you feel a part of the WashU family. Thank you all once again for joining this evening. We definitely, again, are excited about your presence here, and we look forward to connecting with you in the near future. Again, I wish each of you a great and successful semester.
Thank you, George. The other faces you see up here are John Hinderleiter, our Director of Marketing, who's our media expert tonight, and my colleague Rebecca O'Loughlin, who's our co-presenter. And I'm going to start the slideshow now. Okay, so you're at the University College Student Orientation. I put this information in the chat because these are happening next week. We're offering 2 optional Zoom sessions to train you on how to use Canvas, which is the learning management system. You just click on the link to join, and they're identical sessions. I'm hoping we'll record them, and I'll be able to share the recording as well. So this is an overview of what we're going to cover tonight. This is a very quick review. The links that are going to be included in here will be live links that you can click on when you get the slideshow. And here's the websites that we're covering. More websites. I try to put them at the front so that they're helpful for you when you're using this. So here's your COVID safety rules for fall 2021. Everyone must upload a COVID vaccination record or get an approved exemption, even if you're fully remote. That's from the highest level of WashU campus. Every time you come to campus, you need to do a simple self-screening online. Inside all campus buildings, you're required to wear a mask, and we do encourage social distancing. And continue to check your WashU email and the WashU COVID response website. This pandemic has changed so many times in the past, 500 days that we will be responsive as we can. Here's information about how to upload your record. If you don't have an approved waiver or evidence of a COVID vaccine uploaded by August 30th, 2021, you will be removed from your class registration and you won't receive financial aid, grants, or scholarships. If you're a WashU employee, you upload to Ready Set, and you may have already done this. If you're a student, you upload to the Habit Student Health website. And here's the link for the exemption request page. COVID safety protocols, self-screen, wear a mask, social distance, and thank you for working together to keep us safe.
Elisa, we got one
Yes.
question already about the self-screen process, which there's a website that you can go to. There's a link in the slideshow, and I can also find it and put it in the chat. But basically, before you come to campus, you'll go to this website and just answer several questions and then submit it. I did this, for the first time this week because I came to campus on Tuesday, and it was, of course, now I don't remember what the questions were, but I think, do you have a fever? Have you
Yeah.
been in contact with anyone?
Have you had a positive COVID test? Right.
Right. And then you submit it. And this is just, I think, one of the ways that is helpful to make sure that it's safe for you to come to campus. And oh, thank you. John put the link in the chat, so you can actually go ahead and take a look. The screening takes, 20 seconds. It's
Right.
Just a few questions.
You don't even have to take your temperature. Last year you had to take your temperature, but this year you don't. It's helpful also to create contact tracing in case there is an outbreak on campus. They'll know who's been on campus and they can alert you. So it protects you as much as anything. Thanks, Rebecca and John. Parking and transportation. This is always an interesting issue. And this year that we're back on campus, you may need to know this information. After 5 p.m. and on weekends, parking is free, except in the red parking areas. And those are clearly marked with a sign showing red zone. Unfortunately, the red zone is the closest to the buildings, but there's plenty of safe parking in the garages on campus and in the surface lots that are near your classroom building. If you need to arrive on campus before 5 p.m., you can pay $42 for the full year and get an evening yellow student parking pass. You can get these in the parking website, which is linked right there. Full-time students, which is 12 credits undergraduate, 9 credits graduate, can get a free Metro pass. Getting around on campus, you can always ask somebody, but there's an online campus map, and the WashU mobile app has an interactive maps feature. And here's a picture of the Wooster mobile app. It's good for the App Store, for Google, for Android. It's free, and it's got also course listings, a directory, the campus circulator schedule. It's a very useful device. ID cards. Now, you have to have an ID card to enter classroom buildings after 6 p.m. and on weekends. And I think in current protocols, it's actually anytime during the day. So if you are a WashU employee that's registered for a class, your employee ID card works as an ID card. If not, you need to order a card. You can go to the card services website, fill out the form and order one, upload a picture, and then you can pick it up on campus in the women's building. They're only open 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. But if you can't come during that time, email me or your advisor, and we can have it picked up and held for you at the University College office, which is open till 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday. You can also load funds on your ID card. There's information right there. Campus safety. 935-5555 is the campus police number if you need assistance. There's also information on the police website. And there's a WashU Safe app, which is a free mobile app for WashU community members. So the purpose for being here obviously is academics, and we're going to have a little discussion and some screenshots of how to view your academic records. Your Woostel key is your login credential. And if you have been admitted as a student or you've registered for a class, you probably have a Woostel key. And you need to remember that. You have to change your password from time to time, but that gets you into any of the things that we're going to show you on campus. WebStack is what we call the student records portal, and you can view your schedule and your grade records. You do not register for classes through WebStack. You go to our UCollege registration page. And here's what it will look like for those of you who are new. Here's one place to get to WebStack, which is right from the registration page. You click login to WebStack, and you'll see this connection. If you forget your ID or you forget your password, there's links to reset it. It's very handy. After you log in, this is what a student record page looks like for a artificial student we have. You can see your contact information and make sure that's current. You can update it. You see the lock there, that will make it private, which is probably a good idea because we have an online directory and you don't want people to see that. Here's your user profile. You can also add a preferred name. Here's the academic records side. It's under the academics. Course summary will show you what your classes are. Here's classes and grades. Here's where you order official and unofficial transcripts. And this is what your unofficial transcript looks like. You can see it's got the student's name, their programs, advisors, and what classes they took and the grades they earned. There's a link to find your classrooms on a campus map. This is a very tiny map of the main campus, but your classroom will be highlighted on there if it's on the main campus. Technology support. WashU has wonderful resources to help all students, and one of them is the WashU Tech Den, which helps students who live off campus, including UCollege students. You can email them, telephone them, go to their website, and they can work with you in person by appointment or by phone or online. They have guidance on the website about what the minimum specifications for a laptop are. They help with network connectivity, email and printing, and software support. And they do minor repairs for laptops as well.
Elisa, I was going to
Yeah.
mention one more thing about WebStack, which is the
Mhm.
website that you were showing previously. The other important thing you'll do in WebStack is file your intent to graduate. And for most of you who are new, you won't have to worry about this for a few semesters, most likely. But once you get close to graduation, this is where you will let the university know that you're about to graduate. It gets you on the graduation list. You'll pick how you want your name to appear on your diploma. And that's really important. And of course, you're not expected to remember this now as a new student. You'll get lots of reminders, but that's the other very important thing you'll do in WebStack.
Thank you. And it's gonna be here before you know it. So just keep that in mind. Thanks. So WashU email is very, very important. And that's because every official notice like, hey, you're registered for class, or wait, we haven't seen you in class. Are you sure you remember you're registered? Or, you know, you've won a scholarship. All of those go to your WashU email account. So if you're admitted to a degree program, you're assigned an official @Woostel email. And if not, when you register and you use your personal email account, you set up an @woostel.edu email profile that will forward to your personal address. If you get stuck, the Tech Den can help you with this, but it's very important to check that email address. And if you check email on your phone, you might have the Tech Den help you troubleshoot how to get that email sent to your mobile phone so that you receive all the notices you need. Especially right now when we have this sort of COVID situation with things that change from time to time. You just want to be sure you're getting the notices you need. Woostle Box is secure cloud storage. And this is something that I have found personally very, very helpful because, you know, I do work at the office. I do work from home because we're in this sort of working remotely format. I have advisees that, you know, they'll do their schoolwork at home on their personal computer there. They'll do it at work on their laptop. They'll come to the library and do work. And you could end up with 3 different versions of the same piece of homework on all these different computers unless you have a secure place to store it. And Woostle Box is the place to do that. It's free. You log in with your Woostle key and you upload everything there. And then it's safe and ready for you when you need it. Also, I had a student one year whose computer died right as she was finishing a 2-semester research project. And she had not uploaded it to Woostle Box and had to sort of recreate from her notes and retype the whole thing. So I encourage you to use Woostle Box. You know, you can set up a folder for each class and everything's right there for you. Academic support. So there is a Disability Resources Center on campus in the South 40, which is the student residential area. But you can do most of what you need on the Disability Resources website, and they will work with you to create accommodations you need. Some students need a regular accommodations like a note taker in their class or additional time for exams. Other students may, you know, fall off their bike and break an arm and need a note taker for the period of their recovery. And Disability Resources there to help everybody have a level playing field so they can succeed academically. It's confidential. You are able to tell your instructor what your accommodations are. And it's really, I encourage everybody to check it out if they feel they need it. We also have a wonderful academic support, the Center for Teaching and Learning. And the Center for Teaching is for faculty. The Learning Center is for students. That's where we go to hire help desks, which are sort of group tutoring for students. They also have free online academic skills assessments and a lot of free online resources on things like note-taking, time management. It's really a great resource, and your advisor, or if you don't have an assigned advisor, any one of us can help you with that.
And I was,
questions, yeah.
yeah, I was just going to mention, so the Center for Teaching and Learning it's also, you know, called the Learning Center. And this is just a sort of FYI because this confused me initially. The Learning Center and Disability Resources used to be combined, and at the time it was called Cornerstone. And I still hear sometimes faculty and staff referring to Cornerstone. But if you ever hear people talking about Cornerstone, that's what it means. It's now called the Learning Center. So I'm just throwing that out there because you might still hear that term being used.
Thank you. And again, all of these resources are free for you because you're paying WashU tuition and we're invested in helping you succeed. So it's not you pay and then you're just on your own. You pay your tuition, you take the classes, and we have all these resources that are free to help you succeed. And any questions you have about terminology or which is the right place to go, just reach out to one of us. We're sort of relentlessly helpful. The Writing Center is another student support that's really great. They're on the main campus in the lower level of the Mallinckrodt Center, which is the bookstore. They work by sort of a Skype, which is kind of like Zoom. For you college students, they also work by email. They offer coaching for public speaking, and they can help you at any phase of a writing project, from brainstorming your initial, proposal for a paper, to helping to organize your notes, to reading through your drafts to see if you're going where you think you are. They don't edit your work for you. They help you learn how you're writing and how you can make your writing clearer. And they're really, really, really great. So they also do coaching for public speaking. And even if you're not in a class and you're a WashU staff member, they also help WashU staffers. The Career Center is also a really wonderful place that you college students have access to if they're in degree programs. And they help you with reviewing resumes, practice interviews, one-on-one career counseling. If you are a WashU employee and you're trying to get a job off campus, I don't recommend going to the Career Center. They've been told that we want to keep WashU employees on campus. So we have alternatives. The Career Center website itself has a lot of online resources, including links to places where you can get a virtual short-term internship that can kind of fit into your regular job and your school life. And we also have self-directed career resources on our website and a career development class that runs every fall and spring. WashU libraries, there are 14 libraries on the WashU campus. The main one is the open library, 24 hours a day, on weekdays, all day on weekends, fall and spring. Again, due to COVID, these open hours change from time to time, but it's not only a good resource to do research, but they have meeting spaces that you can check out. They have electronic equipment like laptops. If you left home and left your laptop at home, you can borrow a library laptop, log into Box, work on your paper, save it to Box, and then finish it at home. They also are a good resource for saving money on your course materials, textbooks. Some textbooks are available to check out from the library. Others, you can, find pieces of what you need in places in the library, and they've got some websites that are in our Canvas orientation class for textbook support.
There's a question in the chat about whether the library can order books to your campus box. So I'm thinking that the question came maybe from a university employee who has a campus box, a mailing address on campus. I know that, yes, the library was doing that prior to the pandemic. I don't know if they're doing that currently.
Yeah, I would ask. Yeah.
But they were doing as well curbside pickup and, lots of other options. But I'm not sure if they're delivering to, different campus or different university locations currently. I'm not sure.
Right. I know they, for a long time had interlibrary loans as well, that if your book you needed was at another library nearby, they could order it. And I'm just not sure in the pandemic, the state of that. But
I
again,
believe they're still doing interlibrary loan. That's still happening. And I believe the last I heard, the library is planning to resume sort of normal operations this fall. Someone who works at the library told me that. I haven't checked the website recently to see if that's sort of been published or made official, but the library is a great resource, and Olin Library is also, it's very close to the University College office and January Hall. So if you know where the library is, that's also close to where January Hall and University College is, and vice versa. If you're familiar with University College, the library is very close by.
Right, it's near the bunny. So have your ID card with you, because you may need it to get into the library, especially in certain hours, and you need it to check out books and materials. They also have like a large collection of DVDs for sort of personal viewing, and a collection of sort of fun novels and nonfiction books that are just for general interest.
And someone has pointed out that actually curbside services ended August 5th. So I guess
Oh,
apparently
okay.
they're not doing that anymore. But again, my understanding is that they were returning to sort of, normal operations.
Right. Which, maybe that means you can go in and browse, which is even better.
I hope so. And campus box delivery is not available this term.
Okay.
So thank you, Barbara. That's good to know.
Yeah, thanks. So here's just some tips for successful learning. Always check your WashU email account. Download the Canvas app to your mobile device. And if you look in the chat, you'll see I copied the links to the 2 Canvas training sessions if you're interested in that. But the Canvas app will send a notice to your phone if you've gotten an assignment posted or something like that. Add your assignment to your personal calendar so you don't miss deadlines, or just set a reminder in your calendar to check your Canvas courses every day. Contact your instructor by email or send a notice in Canvas if you need an extension or aren't clear. Our instructors want to help you succeed, and if there's communications issues, just reach out to them. If you're in the Canvas classroom and you can't get to the next place you need, or you're having trouble uploading something, down in the lower left of the page, there's a big question mark, which is the help link. And you should click on that, and it's got some pretty good help. We also have, if you're fully online, strategies for learning remotely, that's linked there. And, if there's something that you're stuck on, contact your advisor. That's what we're here for. There is an orientation class in Canvas that we will put all registered students into, and you can check that. It's intended to be a resource that you can go to anytime. It's got the things we linked here plus more items that are useful, including health and wellness resources, a lot of things like that. And there's also a course in Canvas called, I don't know, COVID safety protocols or something like that. And you should check that out. It's a very brief slideshow that just gives you a refresher on all the COVID information. So I'm going to stop sharing and let us sort of have a conversation. Is there, I think Rebecca's been doing a great job of keeping up the questions. Is there anything else that, I'll put my email in the chat. I see Rebecca's done that. So again, you are going to find all of this information will be emailed to you, I hope by the end of the day tomorrow. And the recordings there, the slideshow will be there in a PDF format. We'll also try to link them on our website so you can find them there. Does anybody have any other questions now? Just put them in the Q&A.
Classes start the week of August 30th, so coming up pretty soon.
Right, and I noticed, and I'm harping on checking your WashU email because I've had students that didn't check it and they missed some important information. Like just today, a notice went out, one of the classes that was face-to-face migrated to online. And, the students that didn't see the email, would come to campus and not find their class. What if class schedules are not listed in Canvas? So your course schedule will actually be in WebStack. And, you log in and it'll show you where your classes are and, where they're meeting. Canvas has a separate sort of unit for each class you're taking. And in that unit will be things like the syllabus, an assignment, discussions, things like that. Your Canvas may not be open until the Thursday before classes start. So if you, if it's not published yet, hang on there. The instructors are probably now trying to pull them together. You can always email your instructor. I will put the WashU directory link in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have questions about your specific class schedule and you're not sure, where to find it, just let us know, let Elisa or me or the other advisors know, and we'll help you out and figure it out together. Yeah, I think because classes don't start until the 30th, I think most classes aren't published in Canvas yet. So don't panic if you log into Canvas and don't see your classes yet. It's still early. Most of them probably won't be visible until possibly the Friday before classes start. Some might pop up sooner. There's a good question. If you're a WashU employee, will your student email be the same?
It depends on what you registered with when you registered for your class. So what I would do if I were you is go to Webstack and look at the contacts and see what it shows for you there. A lot of people will use their WashU email, but some people will use a personal email, and it varies from student to student. So log into Webstack, look at contact information and see what it says, and you can change it there.
Yeah, it's really up to you. I'm an employee who takes classes and I use the same Woostel email address for both, but you can choose to have something different if you
Right.
want.
So I see a question says the class is still not published. Is this an issue? No, it's not. It's not likely to be. How many classes per semester do you recommend for an online student working full-time? Well, we have very specific thoughts on that. If you're using financial aid, you need to be in 2 classes per semester to use aid. So if that's a requirement, that's your requirement. If you're nervous and it's your first time taking a class and you want to start with just one, that's perfectly fine too. And there's classes and then there's classes. Like, 100 years ago when I was in college, I loved the reading and writing classes. I took English and history. I could have had, 3 or 4 of those anytime because I loved doing it. Math was not my thing. And taking one math class felt like taking 3 other classes. Rule of thumb, though, we tell you for every hour of class credit, so most of our courses are 3 credit hours, you can expect to have 3 hours a week of homework. So for a regular 3 credit class at the undergraduate level, you would expect to have 9 hours a week of homework. And so you can kind of see, what else is going on in your life and if you've got time to do that. Do you use your Woostel key to log into Canvas? Yes. You also use it to log into Box. If you want to do reserves at the library online, they'll put course materials on reserve and you want to see those, you use your Woostel key. The Woostel key is kind of your gold card for everything. Employees use Webstack as well. Webstack is the student records system. So just like Human Resources uses MyDay for employee records, we use Webstack for student records. If you have 2 emails in your contact, WashU and personal, do you receive email on both accounts? No, you're only going to receive email from the one that's listed as your official email when you're registered. So if you can't tell when you're looking at Webstack, send me an email and I can take a look for you, or send Rebecca an email and just say, hey, can you tell us what my email is listed?
So there's a question about using WashU benefits. Does this mean I must take at least 2 classes per semester? Just want to verify. No. So no, if you are, not an employee using the benefit and you're using, federal financial aid, there is this rule that you have to be enrolled in at least 2 classes in order to use financial aid, but that's completely separate from the employee tuition benefit. So employees at WashU who have been working full-time for at least a year can take up to 7 units of coursework per semester for free, undergraduate coursework. A lot of employees will just take 1 class at a time. I take a class just for fun each summer. Some people, if they're, if you're working towards a degree, want to go a little bit faster. Some employees like to make the most and use those 7 units per semester. But it's very flexible.
Okay, any other questions? And if you didn't understand my answer, throw it back up in there. A course is fully online, but you haven't received a Zoom link. Is that coming later? That's a really good question. So your online course is not just like sitting like this now in front of a Zoom screen. What you'll receive is a Canvas shell for the class, and it will contain, they have different kinds of recordings that they post. It might be a YouTube video. It might have Zoom meetings. Those will all be housed in the Canvas shell for the class. And the Canvas shell will also have a syllabus. It'll have the required textbooks. It'll list your assignments. And again, log into Canvas, download the Canvas mobile app for students, and you can then see, when your course is published, and it'll be in that Canvas app.
Yeah, and you won't see the course again until, I would say Friday the 27th, or
Right.
if you log on to Canvas on Monday the 30th, let's say, and you still don't see your class, or you still can't find the Zoom information, please let us know, and
Right.
we will find that out for you. And you can also always email the instructor. But yeah, the Zoom link will be part, if you're in a class, an online class that has that face-to-face meeting over Zoom, the Zoom link and all that information will be in Canvas once the class is published.
Right. And we'll make sure that you're actually in the class. So we see this a lot of times with new students because of the many steps to being registered. You fill out, you click, you fill out information, you add payments, and sometimes you're not registered, but you think you are. So, if you're not seeing Canvas course, you didn't get emails saying that you're registered, go to WebStack, log in with your Wustel key, and click your, courses and registration link to see what, make sure you're in your classes, or just email us so we can confirm. Because sometimes you take a class that's a graduate class and we have to approve it. Sometimes you're taking a class and the payment didn't process for some reason. And so just check with us. So the other thing is, orientation is not the only place to ask questions. We're here all year. If you got a vaccine on campus, do you still need to upload to ReadySet? Yes. So there's information on the messaging that says if you're a WashU employee and you got your vaccine, they'll have a record of it. But I'm a belt and suspenders person, and I went ahead and scanned my vaccine card and uploaded it to ReadySet anyway, because you don't want to get kicked out of your classes. Rebecca?
Well, I actually had the different experience. When I went to ReadySet, my information was already in there. My vaccine information was there because I got vaccinated on campus.
Oh, see, and mine wasn't, and I got vaccinated on campus. So, I would check, log into ReadySet, and everybody's going to have to get a flu shot this year. So, you might as well get used to ReadySet if you're an employee. Is there a deadline for registering and using TA?
I'm guessing that maybe that means
Tuition assistance
FA, federal aid, is that?
or TA, tuition assistance? Well, so the registration deadline is, we like you to register before classes start, because then you haven't missed anything. We have a pretty flexible drop add period. If you're a WashU employee and you don't complete a class, you have to pay the tuition back, but you have a period of time. It varies by the semester, but for regular session classes, you have until September 13th to say, nope, not this year, and drop the class and not have to repay it. But again, we encourage you to register before the first class meeting so you're not behind.
And I would say if you are using federal financial aid and you're not registered yet, you should definitely get going with that. I mean, the financial aid process can be pretty quick, but sometimes it does take a few days. So so if you're needing federal financial aid and you're haven't done your FAFSA yet, you definitely want to do that. And if you have specific questions about financial aid, you can send an email to our financial aid team. I'm putting
Mhm. Yeah, their email address is
the
in,
email address and we can respond most quickly. We'll get back to you. They're super nice. They're usually pretty quick. But if you have other, questions about your specific situation, again, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to Elisa, or if you have a different advisor,
right,
they'll work with you.
yeah. Okay. So I think you guys are ready for a good start this year. Let's hope we're able to stay safe and healthy. We appreciate your coming. We'll give you like 2 more minutes in case you got other questions. 2 minutes is a long time. We'll give you 30 seconds. So we don't sit there and just stare at each other. And
But
again, yeah, go ahead, Rebecca.
I hope you all have a great semester. And again, we're back. Some of you may have, this was prior to the pandemic, come to see us on West Campus towards downtown Clayton. And we're actually not going to be over there anymore. So we're just in January Hall on the main Danforth campus near Olin Library. So there's always an advisor there every day till 6, Fridays till 5. So if you're on campus and you have questions or just want to stop by and say hi, please do. We're all wearing masks and being safe. But we're around on campus now to help out, as well as still, over email, over Zoom, on the phone.
Right. We miss you and we're just glad to see you and glad you're here. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all for taking the time.